In the 1950s, when Hollywood was firmly controlled by the studio system, heroes on the silver screen were often regarded as sacred icons. Yet late on the night of June 16, 1959, a heartbreaking incident unfolded inside a luxury mansion in Benedict Canyon. While a lively party raged downstairs, George Reeves, the homeowner and hero admired by countless people, took his last breath in a second-floor bedroom. Tonight, let us follow the gentle glow of the fire and walk into the true story of his life through this unhurried tale. The death of this original Superman was quickly ruled a suicide by officials, yet 3 strange bullet holes left at the scene told a different story. Was he a broken man crushed by life, or a sacrifice destroyed by Hollywood power and forbidden love? The truth lingers like thick fog over Los Angeles at night, veiling the last glimmer of starlight in his eyes. To understand that fatal gunshot, we must first face the gilded cage of 1950s Hollywood, the ruthless studio system. At that time, George Reeves was trapped in an absurd professional dilemma. Households across America knew him through black and white television. He became synonymous with Superman, an idol to every child. Yet the red cape that brought him fame also completely closed every other door to his acting career. Whenever he dressed formally to audition for serious dramatic roles, directors would turn him down with a smile, saying no one wanted to see Superman playing the joys and sorrows of an ordinary mortal. He was typecast forever in that flying pose, bound by contracts to a non-stop filming schedule running 7 days a week. This suffocating sense of being trapped by his role opened the first faint crack in George Reeves' fate. On camera, he played an invincible tough guy, yet late at night, he would fall into long silence staring at his blue superhero costume. A hero is forced to maintain perfection at all times, and this imposed perfection is often the beginning of a shattered spirit. He possessed no real superpowers like his on-screen character. He was merely a weary middle-aged man longing to be recognized as a serious actor. During those stifling years, George Reeves met a woman who altered the course of his life, Toni Mannix. Toni was not only his lover but also the wife of Eddie Mannix, a top executive at MGM Studios. In an era woven with power and connections, this tangled affair was far more than romance. It was a high-stakes gamble with authority. Toni provided George with a mansion, luxury cars, and a ticket to high society, yet she also stripped him of his last trace of independence. He became Hollywood's most expensive caged bird, living in property owned by the Mannix family, enjoying the perks of influence while enduring constant surveillance. Eddie Mannix was Hollywood's infamous fixer, tasked with covering up scandals and cleaning up celebrities' messes. George Reeves lived every day in this twisted balance, the embodiment of justice to the public, yet in reality a subordinate to powerful figures. This huge disconnect between his public image and private life slowly made him sensitive and fragile. He laughed wildly at parties and drowned his troubles in wine for temporary escape, yet deep down he knew this glamorous life built on quicksand could collapse at any moment. Toni's possessiveness toward him grew almost pathological, closing in on him until the red cape felt like a tightening noose around his neck. The turning point came in early 1959, when George Reeves made the final rebellion of his life. He fell in love with Leonore Lemon, a younger, socially adept woman, and unilaterally ended his relationship with Toni. To Hollywood's elite at the time, this act was nothing short of betraying an unspoken pact. Ambitious and charismatic, Leonore broke the stagnant balance and gave George a rare taste of freedom. But freedom came with a heavy price in Benedict Canyon. Toni's rage and the Mannix family's hidden tactics began to stir in the shadows. During that period, George felt he was being followed on multiple occasions, and he even survived a bizarre car accident. He confided his fears to friends, yet no one believed Superman could ever be in real danger. On June 16, 1959, the fateful party began. Downstairs, Leonore and a group of guests drank and reveled, while George grew increasingly agitated. He went upstairs to his bedroom, and soon after, a dull gunshot echoed from the second floor. Leonore calmly told the guests downstairs, "He's going to kill himself." This eerily prophetic remark became one of the most chilling details in the subsequent investigation. People rushed upstairs to find the hero lying naked in bed, with a 9mm pistol resting beside his feet. The police investigation was shockingly hasty, almost a deliberate silent collusion with Hollywood's powerful circle. No fingerprints were collected at the scene, no gunshot residue tests were conducted, and the body was moved shortly after being discovered. The official conclusion ruled George Reeves' death a suicide caused by depression and a declining career. Yet private investigators and his mother discovered that besides the fatal bullet, there were 2 additional bullet holes in the bedroom floor. If he had truly intended to take his own life, why would he fire practice shots into the floor first? Witness statements were full of contradictions, but under the Mannix family's influence, all suspicious clues were quickly buried in case files. The public preferred to believe a tragic story of a disillusioned, heartbroken hero rather than face the bloody truth hidden behind the studio system. Toni Mannix spent her remaining years immersed in religion and medication, and rumors claimed she confessed the secret of that fatal night on her deathbed. Leonore Lemon fled the spotlight soon after the incident, taking part of George's inheritance and disappearing completely from public view. In the end, George Reeves departed in the most un-Superman way, becoming mere dust caught in the power struggles of Hollywood's golden age. His strong physique and broad shoulders could never shield him from the darkest malice of his era. As the story unfolds, that gunshot from the second floor still echoes after more than half a century. The name George Reeves is forever frozen as the heroic figure people watched on old black and white television sets. Whenever his name is mentioned, people feel a complex mix of nostalgia and pity. He once hoped to explore the depth of human nature through acting, yet a cape locked him forever in an eternal fairy tale. Tonight, as we remember this fallen Superman, let us set aside the noise of conspiracy theories and the memory of blood-stained bullet holes. Let us only remember the man named George, who loved the stage, who once dreamed of flying with childlike purity. He walked the dark road manipulated by power, and finally found eternal peace on that quiet night. The firelight fades low. The night breeze brushes the treetops, carrying away the trivial memories of old days. In this quiet, untroubled chapter of his life, he finally laid down his heavy cape and became just an ordinary mortal allowed to rest. Let yourself drift into a boundless, peaceful dream along the lingering rhythm of this story. Good night, George. Good night to every hero carrying heavy burdens while walking through reality.